Hey, welcome to Tea Time, bringing you Newcastle United news and discussion. So this is the post-match review of our game against Crystal Palace yesterday, the 1-0 draw. No, not the 1-1, no draw. You see, thinking goals went in. There were no goals, unfortunately. So yeah, might as well get the big issue out of the way first. That VAR decision, which has riled up everyone throughout the country. That the VAR is being poorly implemented by these referees and the support staff. It's becoming endemic of the poor refereeing standards of the Premier League. These guys are actually full-time professionals and their standards are quite poor. They're quite inconsistent. They're not applying the laws correctly a lot of the times. They're not looking at things from as many angles as possible. I mean, they have cameras, so the fact that the referee yesterday only got to see one, when the commentary team for the match was able to see multiple, is ridiculous in and of itself. So I don't know what they're going to do, because I've heard today there's a review of PGMOL by the Premier League, but they don't hold themselves accountable, so there's gonna be no issue found, even though the decision in the Newcastle game was terrible. The decision in the Chelsea game yesterday was terrible as well. That they said Jared Bowen fouled Edouard Mendy when his leg did trail through, but it was just coincidental contact more than any type of foul. Mendy could have got up if he wanted to, but he was never going to be able to stop the finish. So I don't know where the referee came to that decision from. But that decision to not penalise Tyreek Mitchell for the push on Joe Willock yesterday was awful. I don't know what the referee was looking at, because even from the angle that he did watch it from, you can see there's a clear push on Joe Willock. He watches it in. I watched when they were watching the screen, and you can see the movement by Joe Willock, that his chest thrust forward, and the only reason that happens is someone's pushed him in his back. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I feel like it's a very easy fix, because somehow in Europe, in the Champions League or the major international competitions, VAR works, and it works seamlessly within the game. So it seems to be that's a Premier League issue, and that issue is the poor refereeing standards. So there has to be something done, because it's spoiling the spectacle. As I've said this before, but the referees are not supposed to be a detriment to the game. You're not even supposed to really notice the referee. That when they do their jobs correctly, they help the flow of the game. When they're calling the correct fouls, when they're making the correct decisions, they're a bonus to the game, because it's officiated correctly. But when you see decisions like that, it's really disappointing and hard to take results, especially when they don't go our way. But even if the coin was flipped and I saw something like that, I would have wanted to see Newcastle benefit from poor decision making. It's not right. That's the whole point of a referee. It's a independent, impartial party who is officiating the game and making certain the correct decisions are made, whether the team I'm supporting benefits from it or not. And it's something that can't go on anymore, because I've seen in some comments people are saying VAR should go. No, VAR must stay. Poor refereeing standards must go. That's what has to disappear, not the other way around. Video technology is implemented in multiple sports somehow, and it's done well. It's implemented in football well, but it's just in the Premier League that is done very poorly. They put it into the game later than other countries, and then the standards are awful, considering that these guys are full-time professionals. That's what really annoys me. They get paid for this, and they seem extremely amateurish. So hopefully these issues get addressed in the coming months, but I don't feel they will. They'll probably just get rid of VAR, which is actually a good system, but it's just poorly utilized. That's all. So onto the game. It was a tough game yesterday. We did dominate it and we had the better chances, especially the Isaac chance in the first half. But it was just one of those funny games where once again, if we had our full complement of players, I feel like we would have beat them. But that's something that's gonna continue to improve, having that squad depth, because everyone worked really hard yesterday, especially considering the Anfield game where they ran themselves empty, I thought, but they managed to recover quite well. They didn't look gassed until like towards the end, but still they kept Crystal Palace at bay. They had a couple of chances, but Nick Pope dealt with them well. Once again, showing why he's the number one at Newcastle now. Really solid in goal, making good saves, being just solid generally. You can see more and more that relationship in the defense is getting stronger, and that's going to be really important, especially in games where we're missing key players, as we're going to need to be strong defensively, and the few chances that we do come our way, we have to take them. As I think Eddie Howe will probably be saying to Alexander Isaac today, it would be on the Sunday, he would maybe spoke to him in the post-match briefing that when these chances come, just pick a corner and just bury it. If the keeper makes a save, so be it. But his finish was poor, but you could see that he took a wrong line after one of his touches, and it just made it quite difficult for him. So I know he's definitely going to be scoring goals in the Premier League. He's showing how dangerous he is off the shoulder. He showed some really good touches yesterday. He just looks a really quality player. I can't wait till he links up with Callum Wilson, Sam Maximan, and Bruno Guimaraes. It's going to be exciting, really exciting then. And hopefully, as the games, we've got a little bit more space between matches now. So there's time for them to recover, and time for the squad to recover as well. So West Ham next week Sunday, I feel like if we got at least Sam Maximan and Bruno back, they're gonna be in for a real tough game. So I'm trying to think who else. Batman was quite good yesterday. He was being quite dominant in defence, winning his headers. Sean Longstaff was alright playing as the pivot. He needs to get more accurate with his passing and be a bit more sharper with some of his decision making, but overall for me he was very good. To me, I know some people weren't happy with him yesterday, but he covered his ground really well. He's not really that's not really his position either. For me, he's better in the number 8 type of role, because he presses well, he's got a good engine, and he gets from box to box, so I feel that's where he's best utilised. But at the moment, it needs must, and he's proving why Eddie Howe said to give him a new contract, as he's rotated into the squad, and he's been quite good as far as I'm concerned. Joe Willock, he had a decent game as well. Joe Linton wasn't as good as he normally is in terms of his passing, but that work rate always makes up for it. He gets up and down, makes his interceptions, gets stuck in. That's what I want to see first and foremost. That the hard work is put in, and anything else is like a cherry on top. In attack, they endeavoured well. They worked hard. Armran and Fraser, but you can tell there's a difference between them and like Sam Maximan. That we do lose that thrust and that cutting edge when he's available. But they worked really hard and they tried. Kieran Trippier kept Wilfried Zaha quiet as well, which is a very tough task. and I don't really remember him having many chances, if any. He wasn't getting free, I know that much. And Matt Target done quite well as well with Michael Alisi. And yeah, it was just a steady performance. Like I said, once you have the quality back, it makes a big difference to the way we can play. And hopefully, if not this January, then the next summer window, we get more quality depth in. Because like when Elliot Anderson come on, he was quality. He was showing some good touches, good dribbles, winning free kicks. He just looks like he knows what he wants to do when he gets on the ball. He has a clear picture in his head. But in contrast, Jacob Murphy, well, I don't know what to say about him at the moment, because he looks like a deer in headlights anytime he gets on the ball. And his confidence just seems, every time I see him, he's just withering away. There was one time where he got the ball and he should have just squared it. He had men in the box. If he got cleared by the man by the first man, it's one of those things. It's fair enough. But he decides to check back and ends up losing the ball. They have a counter attack. It's these decisions. It makes me wonder about him. Just make the correct decision. Keep it simple. I don't understand why he's trying to overthink things and do too much. You know, he's shown this constantly. I remember last season, I think it was against Watford, he was through and goal. He tries to chip the goalkeeper. Why are you doing that? Just keep it low and hard. Shoot for a corner. If you miss, fair enough, but at least have a shot. It's these moments, these moments of poor decision making. It just makes me look at him more and more and think, the sooner you're gone, the better. And I don't like thinking that about players, because I always feel a player can improve at any time. But when I'm seeing him, I'm just disappointed in the decision making. It's just getting worse by the moment, and it's something that he needs to address. He needs to look at his game and say, why am I making these decisions when I'm in these moments or in these positions? You know, he needs to start looking at the video review of his game, because when it comes on, he's there to make an impact, and at the moment he's a net negative. He's not produced. There's a metric in basketball called plus minus, and right now he is not on the plus side of it. He's very much a minus whenever I see him come onto the pitch, and he has to figure out what he wants to do to be effective when it comes onto the pitch. And that's what the contrast between him, who is a seasoned professional, and Elliot Anderson, who's a raw youngster coming to the team. It's like chalk and cheese. It's crazy. Elliot Anderson is making the decisions I expect to see from Jacob Murphy, and vice versa. From Jacob Murphy's point of view, he's just making these really poor decisions. And there is a good player in him. He has decent technique. He's got speed. You know, he's a decent dribbler, but he seems just to continually make poor decisions, and it's something that doesn't really make sense to me. He's always done this as well, since when Rafa Benitez brought him into the club. Because when he come from Norwich, I thought, this player, he got his dream move as well, which I didn't know at the time, as he was a Newcastle fan. But I thought when he was at Norwich, he looked decent, but from what I've seen, it's totally the opposite. It's quite poor. Yeah, so all in all, it was a good performance, and well, not good, it's steady, but it's just one of those things. Anyway, thank you for listening once again. Wherever you are, have a good morning, afternoon, evening or night.